As the sun dipped below the horizon on that fateful Mother's Day, I found myself thrust into a nightmare I never could have imagined. The day began like any other, with my wife and I preparing to celebrate the occasion with her family. But little did I know this would be a Mother's Day unlike any other, a day that would forever haunt my dreams. As we arrived at my in-laws' house, a sense of unease settled over me like a heavy shroud. The air seemed to crackle with an otherworldly energy, and the normally cheerful neighborhood appeared cloaked in shadows. Ignoring the gnawing feeling of dread in the pit of my stomach, I followed my wife inside, hoping to put my fears to rest. But as the evening wore on, it became increasingly clear that something was amiss. The usual warmth and laughter that filled the house on family gatherings were replaced by an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional creak of floorboards and the distant howl of the wind. As we gathered around the dinner table, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. Every flicker of movement in the corner of my eye sent shivers down my spine, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. But when I glanced around the room, all I saw were the familiar faces of my wife's family, their expressions mirroring my own sense of unease. As the night stretched on, strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects moved of their own accord, whispers echoed through the halls, and a bone-chilling cold settled over the house. I tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination running wild, that there was a rational explanation for everything. But deep down, I knew something was terribly wrong. Then as the clock struck midnight, the true horror began. From the darkness emerged a figure, a twisted, grotesque parody of my mother-in-law, Mrs. Wilson. Her eyes gleamed with a malevolent light, and her laughter echoed through the house like a death knell. Frozen in terror, I watched as Mrs. Wilson's form contorted and twisted, morphing into something beyond comprehension. It was then that I realized I was face to face with a creature not of this world, a being born from the darkest depths of the human psyche. In a panic, I fled into the night, the creature's laughter echoing in my ears. I didn't stop running until I reached the safety of my own home. But even there, I couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom that hung over me like a dark cloud. As Mother's Day approaches once again, I find myself haunted by the memory of that fateful night. I know now that some horrors are too terrifying to be confined to the realm of nightmares, that they lurk just beyond the edges of our reality, waiting to strike when least expected. And so, as I sit alone in the darkness, I can only pray that whatever visited us on that cursed Mother's Day never returns. But deep down, I know that some evils are eternal, and that no amount of wishing or hoping can ever truly banish them from our lives.